You're chasing her because you're chasing certainty. You want to know where you stand, you want a sign, a clear green light. But the irony is brutal. The moment you chase, you signal you don't believe you're the prize. The dynamic flips. She stops feeling the pull because there's no mystery, no gravity, no reason for her to lean in. You already gave her all your cards, face up. And when a man gives too much too fast, he doesn't feel generous. He feels predictable. The predictable man gets appreciated and then postponed. The magnetic man gets prioritized. When you understand the difference, women start moving toward you with attention you don't need to beg for, because your presence carries its own weather, calm, charged, and unmistakably masculine. If what you're hearing is already shifting something in you, stay with me until the end. We're just getting into the part most men never learn. Here's the truth that will quietly set you apart. The number one attraction trigger isn't a line, a trick, or a costume. It's the felt experience that you are self-directed. A man who moves from his own center, who chooses, rather than seeks permission, radiates a calm certainty that women read instantly. Self-directedness is not coldness, and it's not arrogance. It is the dignified signal that your life is already full of meaning, that her presence is invited, not required, and that your attention is rare because you protect it. That energy creates a pressure gradient. She feels it as curiosity. She wonders what has your focus. She looks for edges to hold. She leans in to find your limits and discovers you actually have them. That's when pursuit begins, not because you manipulated anything, but because you restored polarity by being a man who lives by an inner compass. If this is hitting a nerve, drop your thoughts below. I read every single one. Now we're going to make it real. Start with your baseline, your body, your breath, your pace. A man who rushes communicates he's catching up to his life. A man who moves like time is his ally is intoxicating. So adjust your tempo. When you walk into a room, let your breath fall low into your belly. Shoulders back, chin neutral, eyes unhurried. This is not performance, it's presence. Presence is the invisible frame that says, I'm here on purpose, and I'll leave on purpose. Women are language experts of subtext. They watch micro-signals, the twitch of need in your smile, the anxious nodding, the over-explaining. Strip those away. Replace them with stillness. A 5-second pause after a question you've already answered turns you from a boy seeking approval into a man weighing his words. That pause is oxygen for attraction. She feels it as space to invest, to reveal, to try. And yes, women want to try. They want to meet you, not manage you. Understand the architecture of female attraction. It's not a checklist, it's a sequence. First, safety. She needs to feel you're emotionally steady, not volatile, not desperate for outcome. Second, intrigue. She wants to sense there's more to learn, that if she stays near, her world gets bigger, brighter. Third, standards. She watches what you tolerate and what you decline, not with speeches, but with choices. Fourth, leadership. She wants to feel your capacity to move an interaction forward while staying responsive to her pace and boundaries. When these elements align, she invests. She texts first. She suggests the next spot. She lingers at the end of the night. That's not manipulation. It's magnetism through structure. Your words carry weight when they mirror your standards. When you meet her, don't flood the moment with compliments. One clean observation is better than 5 sugary lines. Try, you have a quiet focus. I like that. Then let silence do half the talking. She'll naturally fill the space if she's intrigued, or she'll keep it light if she's testing. Either way, you remain unhurried. If she counters with a playful challenge, "Oh, I'm not quiet at all," smile and say, "Then I'll adjust my first impression." You just demonstrated flexibility without surrendering your frame. That balance is rare. It tells her you're not married to being right, you're married to being real. Invest selectively. Early on, you mirror her interest but don't exceed it. If she gives you 2 threads of conversation, you give her 2. If she asks a thoughtful question, you answer thoughtfully. If she keeps it surface level, you keep it warm, but brief. This is not a game. It's calibration. Calibration is the art of staying attuned without collapsing your boundaries. The moment you notice yourself over-functioning, sending paragraphs to her one-liners, pitching plans to her maybe, you stop. Not with a sulk, not with a lecture, just with a pivot back to your life. You withdraw attention the way a tide recedes, naturally, predictably, without drama. That movement creates contrast. People pursue what retreats with dignity. Qualify her. Most men are so eager to be chosen that they forget to choose. Attraction pivots when she senses you're discerning. Ask questions that reveal values, not just hobbies. What challenge are you leaning into this year? What kind of energy do you bring to your closest friends? These aren't interrogations, they're invitations to show character. And when she offers something real, reward it with presence. Eye contact, a small nod, a low, That sound, grounded, unforced, communicates more than a speech. If the answer is vague or evasive, don't chase clarity. Just mark it and move on. You are collecting data because you have standards. This is how a woman realizes you won't be bought with pretty. You become rare in her world immediately. Curiosity is a current. Feed it judiciously. Offer glimpses of your life that hint at depth but never dump your biography. I like projects that scare me a little. I box on Saturdays. It resets me. I moved twice in 2 years to design a life that feels clean. These lines are doors. The right woman will open them. If she doesn't, you don't force it. Mystery is not hiding. Mystery is rhythm. You reveal, then you rest. You share a story, then you pivot to her. You give a compliment, then you give a challenge. You're easy to talk to. Makes me wonder what you're like when you're bored. Smile when you say it. The smile is the cushion. The challenge is the hook. Now, logistics. You lead. You propose cleanly, not tentatively. I'm headed to a spot around the corner for a coffee. Join for 10 minutes. 10 minutes is intentional. It lowers the perceived risk and communicates you aren't angling for a hostage situation. If she's receptive but hesitant, you give her an exit. Another time works too. Then pivot back to your path. If she says yes, you set the tone. You choose a seat that faces the room. You place your phone face down. You sit with a relaxed chest. You let the conversation breathe. You ask one question and actually listen. When the energy peaks, laughter, a spark in the eyes, you end first. I've got a split, but this was a good vibe. Let's do a proper one next week. Ending on a high is a silent masterclass in self-control. She leaves wanting more because you left space for wanting more. Texting is not your stage, it's your logistics. Keep it purposeful. Open with a reference that proves you were present. Still laughing at your take on morning people. Then propose a beat. Wednesday or Thursday works. Pick one. This isn't brusque, it's clear. If she counters with vague, you mirror lightly. No rush. When your week unclutters, send a window. Then you go silent. Silence is not punishment. Silence is respect for your time and hers. It is the language of men with options. Options in purpose, in training, in friendships, and yes, in women. When she engages with clarity, you reward with momentum. When she doesn't, you go where energy flows. On the date, design the environment to do half the seduction. Movement creates micro-adventures. Gallery to wine bar, coffee to a short walk, jazz lounge to a late-night taco stand. Each transition is a chance for light contact, shared decisions, and natural escalation. Be attuned to her cues. If she holds eye contact a heartbeat longer, if her body angle is open, if her laughter lands lower and slower, these are green lights. If she's scanning the room, crossing arms, keeping distance, those are yellows or reds. You respond like a driver who respects the road. You slow down, you widen the lane, or you stop. A man who can hit pause instantly is a man she can trust to press play later. Your restraint is seductive because it says you're in control of yourself, not trying to control her. The micro-language matters. Replace approval-seeking check-ins with grounded continuations. Don't ask, "Are you having fun?" Assert, "I'm enjoying this, it's chill." Invite her perspective with authority. What surprised you about this city lately? When she shares, reflect the emotion first, then the content. You needed that change. Makes sense. That one line says you hear her inner world, not just her words. When you touch, do it sparingly and situationally. A brief hand at her back as you cross a street. A playful tap if she teases you. A palm-to-palm high five after a shared joke. Release first, always first. Leaving her skin first implies you are not hunting for a grip. It builds trust and tension simultaneously. Frame control is not dominance, it is steadiness. Frames collide when she tests you, arriving a bit late, tossing a mild neg, shifting your plan. Don't argue the test. Name the reality without heat and keep moving. If she's late and breezy about it, good to see you. I've got a hard stop in 45. You didn't scold, you recalibrated the container. If she pokes at your shirt or your drink choice, flip it with humor. I like to disappoint fashion bloggers. Smile and switch topics. Every time you decline the invitation to react, you gain gravity, and gravity draws things in. Standards are your signal fire. Communicate them through action. If she gets lost in her phone repeatedly, you go quiet. If it continues, you say, "Let's pause, I'll give you a minute." You didn't sulk or power struggle, you gave her a hallway back to presence. If she keeps one foot out the door, vague plans, low investment, you gently step back. Seems like now's not the best window. No worries. That sentence is freedom. And freedom is the most seductive proof that you're not trapped by outcome. A man who can walk away can be walked toward. Pre-selection is real, but not for the reasons men think. It's not about flaunting women. It's about evidence of community and contribution. Photos with friends, stories of projects that include other people, the way staff greet you by name, that's the kind of social proof that says you're integrated. Women are deeply tuned to status as responsibility, not just visibility. She wants to see if respect follows you. If it does, she relaxes into your orbit because she knows she's not the first person to find value in your presence. You don't need to say it. Your life says it. Let's talk energy balance. Masculine presence isn't loud. It's decisive. You ask for what you want in plain language and you let no carry the same dignity as yes. I want to see you Friday. If not, we'll find a better week. When you hear no or silence, you don't beg, bargain, or punish. You pivot to your mission. Mission is not a slogan. It's the calendar evidence of your priorities. Training on your schedule. Building something that matters. Time with men who sharpen you. Sleep that honors your body. When a woman feels you belong to something larger than her, she's free to want you without feeling responsible for you. That freedom is oxygen. It accelerates everything. The masculine rhythm is offer, observe, adjust. Offer, you propose a plan, an insight, an invitation. Observe, you watch her response in body and tone, not just words. Adjust, you calibrate your pace accordingly. Fast responses, warm eyes, genuine questions, you speed up slightly. Slow replies, guarded posture, split attention, you slow down. This rhythm puts you in the rare category of men who don't bulldoze or freeze. You lead while listening. She can relax into your current because she trusts you to feel the river. Now, the hinge moment where pursuit flips. At some point, you must create room for her to step toward you. You do it by ending high and ending first. After a charged moment, shared laughter, eye contact that lingers, a story that opens a window. You stand, you hug, you say, "This was good. Text me when you get in." Then you go. Don't hover in the doorway. Don't rehash the night in the parking lot. Don't convert emotion into over-talking. You let the impression breathe. In that space, she'll replay the highlights. She'll feel the echo of your steadiness. If she's aligned with you, she reaches out. If she doesn't, you do nothing. Because you're not running a rescue mission for a connection that doesn't carry itself. When she does reach out, "Last night was fun. I was thinking about your question." You reward with clarity. "I felt it too. Thursday, 8 p.m. Dress code. Comfortable but dangerous." You were playful, specific, and leading. Then you put the phone down. Anxiety will try to decorate the silence with double texts. Don't. Your restraint communicates your nervous system is not for rent. That is profoundly attractive because it is rare. A word on boundaries. They are the hidden accelerators of intimacy. No woman believes a man's yes until she's seen his no. No to disrespect. No to flaky patterns. No to over-drinking if it makes you sloppy. No to your own unhealthy impulses when the night gets late and your clarity thins. The man who can say no to himself earns the right to say yes with her. She reads your self-control as safety. Safety is the gatekeeper to surrender. Without it, attraction hits a ceiling it never breaks. If what you've heard so far is shifting how you see yourself, stay with me. We're about to carve the mental groove that makes this permanent. Visualize this. You walk into any room, and rather than scanning for approval, you let the room scan you. You are not posturing, you are observing. You feel your feet. You slow your inhale. You decide who you're curious about. You move toward her with zero rush. Your opener is simple, grounded. I'm Mark. A small pause. The pause invites her to step in. She shares her name. You take her hand briefly, firm, relaxed, and release first. Your eyes don't dart, they rest. You're not performing loud, you're amplifying quiet. Quiet is provocative when a man owns it. You give one observation, ask one question, and then you breathe. The conversation blooms because your calm is contagious. She laughs. You smile slowly. The energy escalates, and you decide the next move. I'm grabbing a drink. Walk with me. If she comes, you lead. If she doesn't, you nod once. Catch you later, and you mean it. Your spine stays straight because your worth was never up for debate. What about when she tests hard? Good. She should. Tests are her way of sorting signal from noise. If she keeps it frosty, you match temperature but not interest. You don't chase warmth from cold water. You look for another fire. If she tries to make you prove yourself with hoops, you smile and decline the circus. I'm not auditioning. We vibe or we don't. Say it with warmth, not edge. Your warmth proves you're not wounded. Your words prove you're not malleable. If she anchors on a former boyfriend or on drama, you don't become a therapist. Sounds like a lot. I'm here for light tonight. Boundary set, frame held, attraction protected. You won't hear this often, but it matters. Discipline is seductive. Your bedtime, your training, your nutrition, the way you keep your environment crisp, this is unspoken foreplay. It telegraphs that you can carry weight without complaint. Women relax around competence the way we relax around softness. It's polarity. When your life is tight, your energy is generous. When your life is sloppy, your energy leaks. Clean your room, clean your calendar, clean your mind. Not for her, so that when she comes, she meets your best. That difference is felt more than it's seen. If you know a brother who needs to hear this, send it to him today. Don't keep it to yourself. Men suffer quietly from neediness dressed as romance. They overgive, overexplain, overpursue, and then they wonder why intimacy feels like a negotiation. It doesn't have to. You can be generous without being available to everything. You can be kind without being convenient. You can be decisive without being domineering. You can be playful without being performative. The axis is self-respect. Now, escalation. You move from light to layered, from safe to charged, through congruence. You never jump steps. If she's giving you green lights, proximity, touch, the kind of eye contact that hums, you acknowledge it verbally before you intensify. You feel good here. Simple. Allowed. If she softens, if she leans, if she stays, then you lead. If she flinches, if she goes distant, you step back and reset the temperature. You never push the river. You guide it with the banks of your awareness. The result is erotic trust, which is the only trust that matters in attraction. It says, I can take you somewhere, and I can stop instantly. That combination is rare. Be that man. Uncertainty is not your enemy. It is the field where she chooses you. Stop trying to seal every gap with assurances. Let her wonder a little about where she fits in your already meaningful life. That little is key. Mystery, not confusion. You respond to texts when you're free, not instantly. You share enough to maintain connection, but you don't narrate your day. You say no to plans that don't fit you. You keep commitments you make. You don't punish distance, you just mirror energy. Over time, this consistency builds a craving. She's chasing, but not chaotically. She's investing because she knows her investment lands somewhere steady. What if you've over-pursued already? Reset with dignity. Pull your energy back without speeches. The next time you reach out, keep it clean. Been focused. If you want to catch a drink Friday, pick a spot. No long apology, no confession of neediness, no recycled jokes to warm the room. Let the new rhythm speak for you. If she responds with clarity, you reward. If not, your life remains vivid. You do not audition for the same role twice. Occasionally, you'll meet a woman who is mesmerized by chaos. She confuses intensity with intimacy. She will reward your instability for a week and then punish your steadiness the next. Do not chase that storm for affirmation. A man anchored in his mission does not trade peace for dopamine. Walk. The space you create becomes an invitation for a woman whose nervous system resonates with yours. Responsive, curious, grounded, playful. Alignment matters more than outcome. I want you to feel this in your bones. You are not trying to get her to chase you. You are becoming a man whose presence is naturally pursued because it improves the lives it touches. The number one trigger, self-directedness, makes you more attractive to women and more effective in everything else. The same steadiness that turns heads builds companies, deepens friendships, and keeps promises you made to yourself when no one was watching. You don't need permission to be that man. You need practice. Practice is the set and reps of micro-choices. Choose the gym over the scroll, the book over the blabber, the walk over the wallow, the call to a real friend over the text to a dead-end flirt. If this is hitting something inside you, stay with me until the final sentence because this next piece cements the frame you'll live from. Imagine the mountain. It doesn't chase climbers. It stands in its full height, weathered and unbothered. It doesn't apologize for being hard to summit. It doesn't bend to every gust of wind. It rewards only those willing to meet it with preparation, respect, and presence. You are the mountain. You are not a maze. You are not bait. You are structure, challenge, beauty, and view. Some will take a photo from the road and drive on. A few will lace their boots, lean into the climb, and discover the quiet at your peak. Let that be enough. We'll close here, with a reframe that stays long after this ends. Attraction is not a trick. It's a transfer of state. You go first. You ground first. You choose first. You set your pace first. You decide when to open and when to close. You create space for her to move toward you by refusing to move frantically toward her. You articulate standards with kindness. You end on highs. You let silence speak. You honor no as much as yes. This is not coldness. This is warmth with a spine. This is how respect becomes desire and how desire becomes pursuit. If this conversation clarified something for you, subscribe and stay close. We're building men who don't hustle for worth. Share this with the one brother you know who needs to hear it today. And if something in here sparked a question or a realization, drop it below. I read every word because I care about the men who care to grow. Now go live it. The world is waiting for your steady. She is too.